السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, today we are looking at lesson number 68, as you can see. And in this particular lesson, we are going to be looking at Al-Bakhiratu. Al-Bakhiratu. And then Al-Bakhiratu, of course, that is the sheep. And so, if you can see here, the lesson is going to be in two different parts. You can have here part 1. Of course, that means that there will be part 2. So this is the part 1. Without wasting much time, let's just begin. Al-Bakhiratu, we are going to be looking at, as I said, about the sheep. So the author begin by saying that كان الناس في قديم الزمان. People in the olden days, قديم الزمان بمعنى the olden days, يسافرون من مكان إلى مكان على الإبل. They used to travel from يسافرون من مكان إلى مكان. They used to travel from place to place على الإبل, on the camel, والبغال, and then the mule, وعجلات الخيل, and then on the wheels of horses. عجلات الخيل, wheels of horses. You see, sometimes when they have a horse and then they want several people to ride on it, or they want it to carry their loads, and so they will search for some device. They will make up a device which has wheels, and then they will tie it to they will connect it to the horse. And so even it's very common with donkeys. They will tie it to the donkey or the horse, and then they will put loads in it so that it will be carrying it. So that's what he meant here by saying that ajalat al-khayl. How that is clear. So ajalat al-khayl, on the wheels of horses, manner. Wheels, they will find a device with wheels, and then they will tie it to the horse, and several people can enter. Wa ajalat al-thiran, and then on the wheels of bulls. Yes, asiran is the plural of saur. Is the plural of what? Saur, which means what? A male cow. The bull is what we term as saur, and the plural is siran. And so those cattle, they use them for similar purpose. Sometimes if you go to places mainly like India, and those places you can see it's very common, they will use cattle for work. How that is clear. They will tie something to them which has wheels, and then you can let them carry loose and other things. So that's what he's saying. Fataraha gadiyatan raihatan, and you see it gadiyatan, bimana coming, raihatan, going. You see it coming and going. Gadiyatan, as I said, it means coming, bimana early. It's early coming is what we term as gadiyatan. Hope that is clear. So gadi is someone who is coming. Hope that is clear. Okay, and as I said, early, it means specifically, it means early, to come early morning. It's what we term as gadiya. I hope that is clear. Then raihatan, it means going. And now on to the same thing, leaving late. When it's getting to evening time, you are leaving. The verb is raha yarihu, which means to go or to depart late when it is getting to the evening time. Oh, that is clear. So you see them coming early in the morning and going in the evening. So you see these things, that was what they use as their transport. Today we have vehicles, aeroplanes, and all that. But they, at their time, in the olden days, in the olden days, this was what they used for their travel. So that's what he's saying. Gadiyatan ra'ihatan ala turqat, on the roads, washawari, and on the streets. Tahmilu rukaba wal bada'i', carrying the passengers and then their goods. Al bada'i' is the plural of bida'atun, which means goods. Hope that is clear. Okay. Then he says that وَكَانَ النَّاسُ يَخَافُ السَّفَرُ فِي الْبِحَارِ. People used to fear travel in the sea. وَيَتَحَامَوْنَهُ, and they used to shun one another from it. Tahama is coming from hama. Hama simply means to protect. Yahmi, it means to protect someone from something. Oh, that is clear. Hama yahmi, it means to protect. But when you see tahama, you see this hama, you see these verbs that come on the pattern of fa'ala. Like we have qatala, jadala. It means there's musharaka, it's two or more people doing it. Oh, that is clear. So they used to shun one another from it. So meaning that, let's say if someone is trying to go travel tomorrow and is going to be through the sea, you go and tell him, the dangers associated with it, and then he will shun him from doing it. They used to shun one another. There is participation in it. It's not just one person. They used to shun one another, protect one another from traveling in the seas. ولكن ألجأتهم الضرورة إلى السفر فيها. However, ضرورة, necessity. ضرورة is what we term as necessity. ضرورة to necessity. ألجأتهم, it compelled them. ألجأ means to compel. I hope that is clear. The actual verb is لجأ. لجأ means to resort to something. So if I say لجأت إلى الاستعذار من زرة, I resorted to using spectacle. Let's say I can't see, and I say someone asks me why you wear a spectacle. I say لجأت إلى ألجأتني الضرورة. ضرورة has compelled, necessity has compelled me. So لجأ means to resort to. You are doing it, but ألجأ means you are being compelled. Laja, see, get the difference. Laja means to resort to. You are the one who resort to doing something. But alja, it means to compel. Something compel you. Another thing is out of your control. You are being compelled. So that's what he's saying. Alja'atuhum ad-daruratu ila safar fiha. Necessity has compelled them to traveling in it, in the seas. لأنه يحمل أثقال العظيمة, because it is able to carry heavy loads. So that's why he's telling us why traveling in the sea became a necessity. He's saying that لأنه يحمل أثقال العظيمة, it is able to carry heavy loads which they themselves they couldn't have carried. ويكلف نفقة ولا يكلف نفقة, and it doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't cost any expenditure. كلف يكلف, it means to cost something. Oh, that is clear. Nafaqatun, it means something you spend. Is all the time as nafaqatun. Is expenditure. So he's saying that it doesn't cost any. The price associated with it is very low. The cost is very low. That's what he's saying. فَوَصَلُوا الْأَنْهَارَ وَالْبُحَيْرَاتِ بِالتُّرَى, and so they connect. Wasala is not. Wasala sometimes means to connect. So wasalu, they connect al-anhara, the rivers, wal-bukhairat, and then the small seas, the lakes, bitura, with channels. Tur'atun is what we term as a channel for something. Of that is called Tur'atun. So anhar and then bukhairat. Bukhairat is the ism tasghir of bahr. Bahr is the sea, and then the small. When we see a small sea, we call it bukhairu. Like we have rajulun, a man. But when you see a small man, a man who is still small, he look like a young boy, we call him rujail. Rujail. How that is clear. Abdun, it means a slave. But when you see a small slave, you say what? Ubaid. How that is clear. So ism tasghir, we call it belittling. We try to belittle something. So bahr is a sea. But when you see a small sea, we call it buhair. It comes on the pattern fu'ailun. So buhair, the plural is buhairat, small seas or lakes, in simplicity lakes. So they connect the rivers and the seas together, bitura, with channels, such that they will now be able to travel through it. So that's what he says. وَصَارُوا يُسَافِرُونَ فِيهَا, and they begin traveling in it. عَلَى السُّفُنِ الشِّرَائِيَّةِ, on sailing ships. Safinatun, it means a ship. How that is clear. But the plural is sufun. So sufun shira'iyya, sailing ships. Shira'iyya, something sailing. It's to term as shira'iyun. So وَيَنْقُلُونَ بَضَائِعَهُمْ التِّجَارِيَّةِ, and then it carries their trading goods مِنْ مَكَانٍ إِلَى مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ, from place to another place, to another far place. وكانت هذه السفن الشرائية تصير 3 أميال في ساعة واحدة, and these sailing ships, it used to travel, كانت تسير, it used to travel 3 أميال, 30 miles في ساعة واحدة, in an hour. So in 1 hour, these ships, they used to travel 30 miles. That is wonderful. He says that وكانت هذه السفن تحت حكم الرياح. These ships, it was under the control of the wind. It was under the rule of the wind, meaning the control of the wind. فَإِنْ وَافَقَتْ, and if it should agree, it should agree with the wind, meaning in the direction it is moving, if the wind should also be moving in that same direction. That's what he meant by فَإِنْ وَافَقَتْ, if they should agree, meaning if they should move in the same direction. وَصَلَتِ السَّفِينَةُ فِي وَقْتٍ قَرِيبٍ, the ship will arrive in a close time, in a short time. It won't take that much time and it will arrive to its destination. وَإِنْ أَعْرَضَتْ, and if it should oppose, أَعْرَضَ means to oppose. So opposition or someone opposing is called mu'arid. So we have Hizbul Mu'arada in siyasiyah when it comes to politics. Someone who is opposition, we call him Hizbul Mu'arada, opposition party. So that's what he's saying. وَإِنْ أَعْرَضَ, and if it should oppose, meaning the wind is blowing in this direction and then the ship is moving in the negative direction, that's what he's meant by وَإِنْ أَعْرَضَ. And if they should oppose, their direction is opposite to one another, وَقَفَتْ أَسَابِعَ, it stops for weeks. The ship will stop for weeks in the sea. وَشُهُورًا, and months, meaning it will delay a lot. If you are traveling in the ship in the sea and then the wind is blowing in opposite to your direction, he's saying that you stop, that the ship will stop for weeks and months. وَإِنْ أَعْنَدَتْ, and if it should be arrogant, another means to be arrogant. I hope that is clear. Meaning if it should oppose it violently, it should be very violent against it. So someone who is arrogant, we call him anid. Anidun, an arrogant person. So even in the Quran, we see this one. This one is there. Surah Al-Hujurat. I hope that is clear. وَعَلَمْ أَنَّ, like Allah tell us, وَعَلَمْ أَنَّ فِيكُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ لَوْ يُطِيعُكُمْ فِي كَثِيرٍ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ لَعَنِتُّمْ. So from this one, لَعَنِتُّمْ, you would have been arrogant. If the Prophet was to obey us, we have been arrogant. So another, you are anidu, it means to be arrogant. So he says that if the ship should be arrogant towards the people, if the wind should be arrogant towards the ship, meaning it is very violent, the wind is very severe wind, which is moving the ship here and there, that's what he's saying. If it's very arrogant, صَدَمَتْهَا بِصَخْرَةٍ فَكَسَرَتْهَا, it clashes it. Sodama, it means to clash, to make something hit something, to clash. So it's Sodamatha bisakhratin, it clashes it with a boulder, a rock, a very big rock. Fakiasaratha, and it breaks it. Aw kalabatha, or it capsizes it. Kalaba means to take something and then you capsize it upside down. That is kalabtaha. Okay. Wahalaka rukabu, and then the passengers, they will die a violent death. Halaka is different from mata. There are two words. Halaka means to die. Mata also means to die, but they are different. Halaka means to die a violent death. Let's say someone who fell from a cliff, or someone who fell from a story building and his head break. So that's kind of violent death. Or someone who's burnt in a fire. So to die a very violent death is what we term as halaka. But mata is simple, it's just casual. To die a regular death, a normal death, you are just sleeping and you are dead, or you are just sitting down and you die. There's no, disturbance, there's no severeness in it. But when you die a very severe, painful death, we call it halaka. Oh, that is clear. So note the difference. But most of the time you see it, they will say die. But that's the difference between them. Halaka is a severe death. So halaka rukahu, and then the passengers, they will die a violent death. Wa gharikatil bada'i, and then the goods, they will drown. The goods will drown. وَكَانَ هَذَا يَقَعُ كَثِيرًا, and this used to occur a lot. حَتَّى ذَهَبَ مَثَلًا, until it became a proverb. حَتَّى ذَهَبَ مَثَلًا. ذَهَبَ مَثَلًا means for something to become a proverb. وَقَالَ الشَّاعِرُ, and then a particular poet said, مَا كُلُّ مَا يَتَمَنَّ الْمَرْءُ يُدْرِكُهُ. Not everything that a person, al-mar'u, a person, yatamanna, to wish, not everything that a person wish, yudrikhu, get it. It's not everything that you wish that you get. Tajri riyahu, the wind blow or the wind move, bima la tashtahi sufun, in that, or bimana, in the direction which the sufun, the ships, doesn't want. Tajri riyahu bima la tashtahi sufun, the wind, it moves in that which the ship doesn't want. So sometimes the wind can be moving in a direction that a ship doesn't want. This is a very beautiful bait. This is a very beautiful poem by Al-Mutanabbi. The Sha'ir here is Al-Mutanabbi, At-Tayyib Al-Mutanabbi. وَكَانَ السَّفَرُ خَطِرًا, and وَكَانَ السَّفَرُ, and travel was very dangerous. Khatarun, it means a danger. Oh, that is clear. وَكَانَ السَّفَرُ خَطِرًا. Traveling was dangerous. لَا يَدْرِي الْإِنسَانُ أَيَصِلُ إِلَى الْمَنْزِلِ أَمْ يَمُوتُ. A person doesn't know أَيَنْزِلُ إِلَى الْمَنْزِلِ, whether he will arrive at the home, أَمْ يَمُوتُ, or he will die في الطريق, in the road. فَكَانَ الْوَاحِدُ إِذَا أَرَادَ أَنْ يُسَافِرَ. And so if someone wants to travel, during the olden days, if someone wanted to travel, في سفينة شراعية, in a sailing ship, أوصى أقاربه, he counsel his relatives. He gives his will to his relative. Also to give a will, he gives his will to his relatives. وأصدقاءه, and his friends. بديونه وبما عليه, with his duyun. Duyun is the plural of dainun, which means debt. A debt is called dain. The plural is duyun, debt, his debts. وبما عليه, and whatever is on him. So he tell his relative, he give his will. If I should die, this so and so person, his debt is with me. And this person, their property is with me. This and this and this and this. If I should die, try to pay it out. That's what he has simply said. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ لَا يَدْرِي لَا يَقْدِرُ أَنْ يَقُولَ. And a person was not able to say, إِنَّهُ يَصِلُ فِي شَهْرٍ أَوْ آمٍ, whether he will arrive في شهر, in month, or a year. فإنه يسافر في ظلمات البحر, because he is traveling in the darkness of the ocean. That's the nature. If you are traveling the ship, you don't have an appointed time. For flight, they can tell you arrive in 2 hours time, but the ship is not so. It depends on the movement of the wind. That's what he's seeing. وَكَانَ دُودًا عَلَى أُودٍ. Very nice expression. And it was دُودٌ عَلَى أُودٍ. كَانَ دُودًا عَلَى أُودٍ. It was like a worm on a stick, or it was like a worm on a wood. Dudun, it means a worm. Dudun means a worm. Ala udin, on a stick. You see how a worm is on a wood or a stick. It's very, very small. You see small on the wood. So that was the nature of people who were sailing in the ship and on the river or on the sea. You see them to be very small. You just see the ship very, very small, especially when they are far away, when they have gone very far. You just see them very small, like a dot on the sea. So that's the nature of the human being sailing there. You know, it's very beautiful. Allah strike these examples a lot in the Quran. When we are traveling through the sea and the river, you know, Surah Al-Isra, we have learned this in Surah Al-Isra. So that's what he sees. You see the human being very small on this river, like a worm on a stick. How small a worm is when it is on a stick. La yadri ayamutu fit tariq am yasilu saliman wa yaud. La yadri ayamut. They don't know whether they will die, or he don't know whether he will die. Fit tariq, on the road, am yasilu saliman, or they will arrive safely, wa yaud, and they will return back. وكان الناس رغم ذلك كله يخاطرون بأنفسهم وأموالهم. وكان الناس رغم ذلك كله. And people used to, regardless of all that, ragma means regardless, like we have seen in the previous lesson when we were looking at Al-Hajjaj wal-Fitya. One of the young men, that was what he said. You can remember, تَأْتِيهِ بِالرَّغْمِ وَهِيَ صَغِيرَةٌ. They come to him while they are humbled, regardless of their status. So ragma means regardless. So people, despite all these dangers associated with the travel through the sea, كان الناس رغم ذلك كله. People used to, or people, regardless of all that, they used to يخاطرون بأنفسهم وأموالهم. They used to endanger themselves. خاطر يخاطر, it means to put yourself in risk, to endanger yourself. They used to endanger themselves. وأموالهم, and their properties, their money. وكان المسلمون يسافرون للحج. And the Muslims, they used to travel for Hajj. من كل بلاد, from all cities, or from all countries. ولا يمنعهم خطر, and the danger used not to prevent them. منع, to prevent. The danger used not to prevent them. أو خوف, or fear. They used not to fear, or to have any, to fear danger or anything. من السفر, from the travel. إلى بيت الله, to the house of Allah. وأداء فريضة الحج, and the fulfillment of the obligation of Hajj. Ada'un means fulfillment or performing. Hope that is clear. Performing the faridah. Faridah is obligatory acts. Faridah al-hajj, the obligation of a hajj. And then he says that فَكَانَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ مِنَ الْهِنْدِ, and Muslims from Hind, India, was seen and seen China, وَجَزَائِرِ بَحْرِ الْهِنْد, and the islands of the Indian Ocean or the Indian Sea. وَكَذَلِكَ مِنْ Marrakesh, and so as Marrakesh, وَبِلَادِ الْأَنْدَلُسِ, and then the land of Andalus, that is Spain. يُسَافِرُونَ كُلَّ عَامٍ لِلْحَجِّ, people used to travel كُلَّ عَامٍ, every year, لِلْحَجِّ, for Hajj. وَقَدْ يَسْتَغْرِقُ سَفَرُهُمْ عَامًا كَامِلًا أَوْ أَكْثَرُ, and then their travel, سَفَرُهُمْ, their travel, يَسْتَغْرِقُ, قَدْ يَسْتَغْرِقُ, it means, استغرق يستغرق, it means to take the span of something. It could last for. استغرق. Oh, that is clear. استغرق. So if I say هذا العمل سيستغرق ساعة, it means this work, it will take 1 hour for me to complete it. That's what it means. استغرق يستغرق, it means to take, for the time, for something to take a particular time. How that is clear, or to last. It will last for the duration of a particular activity or work. That's what we know. Istagraka is a verb. The verb is istagraka yastagriku. It will take such and so time. So waqad yastagriku, this qad here of course is for to show that it is may. So waqad yastagriku safaruhum, their travel may take, and that's what happens when qad comes with fi'l mudari'. When it comes with fi'l mudari', yes, it means it may. I hope that is clear. So if I say qad azhab, it means I may go. So if I bring qad and bring a fi'l mudari', present tense verb, it means may. So وَقَدْ يَسْتَغْرِقُ سَفَرُهُمْ, and their travel may take aman kamilan, 1 complete year, or aksar, or even more. Yes, this is so. When people used to go to Hajj, now we have aeroplanes, you just go to Hajj, few days you are back. But them, it could take for 1 year, because they used to travel through the seas. Yes, and they used to take a long time, several months, for in and even out, coming back again. وَكَانَ الْجَوَّابُونَ, and then the jawabun is the plural of jawab. Jawabun means an explorer. So وَكَانَ الْجَوَّابُونَ, and then the explorers, those who go around exploring. يَسِيحُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, they used to move or travel in the earth. Saha yasihu, it means to move, to travel. وَيَرْكَبُونَ الْبَحْرِ, and then they used to ride the sea. They used to ride the sea, yes, meaning they used to travel through the sea. مِنَ الْمَشْرِقِ الْأَقْصَى, from the farthest mashriq. مِنَ الْمَغْرِبِ الْأَقْصَى إِلَى الْمَشْرِقِ الْأَقْصَى, from the farthest Maghrib. Maghrib is west, from the farthest side of the west. إِلَى الْمَشْرِقِ الْأَقْصَى, to the farthest end of the east. وَكَانَ الْعَالَمُ الْإِسْلَامِي, the Islamic world, كَبَيْتٍ وَاحِدٍ, it was like one house. وَالْمُسْلِمُونَ كَأُسْرَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ, and Muslims were like one family. يَنَالُ الْجَوَّابُ فِي السَّفَرِ كُلَّ مَا يَجِدُهُ فِي الْوَطَنِ. يَنَالُ الْجَوَّابُ, the Jawab, the explorer, he obtains. كُلَّ فِي السَّفَرِ, in his travel. كُلَّ مَا يَجِدُهُ فِي الْوَطَنِ, everything that he finds in his hometown. So when an explorer is going around and he travels to another Islamic land, when he goes there, he gets whatever he used to get from back in his city. That's the nature of Muslims. You have to share your properties. So that's what he's seeing. The explorer, when he goes to another Islamic country to explore or do something, the people there, they welcome him, and then they share their properties with whatever he wants. He will get it there, even though that is not his hometown. So that's what they are saying here. Yanalu Jawabu, the explorer gets fi safar, in his travel or during his travel, kullama yajiduhu fil watan, everything that he used to get in his hometown, he will still have it. Ahlam bi ahlin, family for a family, meaning that they say in Islam, that's the nature of Islam. If you have, what really makes that in Islam, what is really a family is the Iman. When we share Iman, and that is Iman in Allah, that is Islam. That's what really means a family. Yes. You know, we have learned this in Surah Al-Mumtahina, when we are getting to the end of Surah Al-Mumtahina. You know, those who are even kuffar, and then they are against Allah and His Messenger, and then they are in our family. They are not worthy of being close to us. Then those who are not even our family members, but they are holding on to Allah. We are brothers. They are our brothers in Islam. That's what it really means, family. You know, we are brothers and sisters for the sake of Islam. That's truly what means family. You know. So that is what he's saying here. Ahlan bi ahlin, family for a family. Wa jiranan bi jiranan, close ones to close ones. That's the nature of Islam. You know. وقد سافر ابن بطوطة المغربي. Ibn Battuta, the Maghribi, from the Moroccan, he traveled. وابن جبير الأندلسي, and Ibn Jubair from in Andalus, that is Spain. وسليمان التاجر, and then Sulaiman the trader. These three people that he have mentioned, Ibn Battuta, and then Jubair from Spain, and Sulaiman the trader, both of them, they have traveled. Oh, that is clear. They have traveled إلى معظم المعمورة بهذه السفن. They have traveled to almost all. Mu'zam means almost all. Okay, most of. So mu'zam. They have traveled to almost all al-ma'mura. Ma'mura here means al-alam, the world. They have traveled to almost all parts of the world. بهذه السفن, with these ships. So these three people, I think they were explorers. They have been able to travel through the whole world, not with aeroplane, but through the sea. That is what they are saying. These are examples of people who have covered and been able to travel through a large part of the globe using ships, by the means of ships. Jazakum Allahu Khairan. This is the end of this particular lesson. Barakallahu li wa lakum fi Qur'an al-Hakim. Wa nafani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.